Hey guys, it's Andrea from the blog Pine and Prospect Home, and today I thought I would answer some questions that I've been having about our neutral cottage style corner hutch that I have in our dining room. I'm also going to share some fun treasures that I found while I was out thrifting this past Friday, and I actually incorporated some of those pieces into my corner cabinet, so I'll be sharing those as well. When we moved into this house about 8 years ago now, there was a corner hutch already here that the previous owners had left. And it was a beautiful piece of furniture. I painted it almost immediately. And it went through several colors over the years, and eventually I just realized that it wasn't my style. It wasn't something that I would have picked out. And so I decided to start looking for a new corner hutch. Now the very first place I thought to look was, of course, Facebook Marketplace, and I just couldn't believe it. I almost found one right away, just 30 minutes from here, and it was beautiful, but it was $150. I decided to list my old corner cabinet for sale, and I actually ended up selling it on Facebook Marketplace for $165, and I used that money to purchase this corner cabinet. So there were a couple different things that drew me to this hutch. The very first thing that caught my eye, of course, was this scalloped detail up here. I just thought that was so beautiful and very unique, and I pretty much love anything with scallops, so I was very drawn to that. And then I just loved these clean lines on the corner cabinet. They were much more straight than the old one, which had a lot of curves to it. And then of course this French window doorway looking into the cabinet was just absolutely beautiful to me. When we picked it up, it was a dark green color, and of course I repainted it. And one of the questions that I get all the time about this cabinet is what color I painted it. So the color that I used was Kingsport Gray by Benjamin Moore, and I don't have a Benjamin Moore store near here, so I just took the color and I went to my local True Value hardware, and they color matched that color for me. And I will say that their formula will never be exactly like Benjamin Moore's formula. It'll always be a little bit different because they use different tints, but it's pretty close. So if that's something that you're willing to compromise on, it's a great option if you're trying to save money. And so that's what I did. I just had a quart of paint made, and I painted the entire outside of the hutch as well as the inside of this upper portion. Another change that I made to the corner cabinet was, of course, the hardware. I switched out the hardware for some oil rubbed bronze knobs, and I think it just helped to update it a little bit. In my last video, when I kind of gave a tour of our dining space, I told you guys that I was wanting to pull in some different colors and textures into my corner cabinet decor. So before, when I initially painted it, I wanted it very clean, just nothing but my white Pfaltzgraff collection, which I shared about a couple weeks ago. And just recently I've been bringing in some pops of blue, some wooden accents, like some wooden utensils here, and some wooden bowls. I thought I would just take you inside and sort of show you some of my finds, and also share with you some of the recent finds that I found thrifting this past Friday. You may have noticed in my dining tour last week that one of my favorite combinations is woods, whites, and a pop of blue. I just love the way that those three look together. They are so beautiful to me. I have a lot of these Currier and Ives dishes throughout my dining room decor, and I just have this one set left. So I have this kind of tucked over here, and I wanted to bring in a little bit more blue. So I happen to have this piece here, which is just something that I found at Marshall's, I believe, so it's newer. But then this past weekend, on Friday, I found this huge Currier and Ives platter. It's very heavy. I paid $2.50. I wanted to leave the price tag on to show you guys. but I think it's a beautiful plate. I'm not sure yet if I'll keep it in here, but I just thought that was so pretty. I already told you guys that I got these awesome antique bowls from my mom. These stoneware bowls are so beautiful and they have so much character on them. I love the way that that stoneware looks against all of my white dishes. Of course, I've already talked to you guys about all of my Pfaltzgraff dishes. I have a whole video on them if you're interested. But another thing that I've pulled into this space are some wooden utensils. All of these wooden utensils were thrifted, but some of my recent finds from this past Friday were actually this vintage wooden masher, I believe it's called. I looked it up and it has quite a few names. Someone else called it a sauerkraut press, which makes sense. But I thought that was really neat, and I left the sticker on there. This was $2. And then I also got this really cool spoon. Whenever I'm looking for wooden spoons, I just like to look for something that looks hand carved and just unique. And I also check for the color of it. I love spoons that just have sort of a weathered, aged patina to them. So I grabbed those as well. These wooden plates were given to me also by my mom. My mom collects antiques. Her home is a different style than mine, but it's really neat because we can really appreciate each other's styles and kind of look out for each other whenever we're thrifting or antique shopping. I found a few other things while I was thrifting. This past weekend, I grabbed a little glass bowl I will use as a mixing bowl whenever I'm baking or preparing food in my kitchen. I love looking for glass bowls whenever I'm thrifting. They come in handy when you're in the kitchen. And then I also found an awesome vintage frame with this beautiful scalloped detail, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, but it was just so cool, and that was $5, so I brought that home with me as well. We'll see where I end up putting it. I don't know if the corner cabinet will stay this way. I'm always changing my mind and switching things around. It's a lot of fun for me to sort of play around with my decor, so it could change tomorrow, but right now I like the way that this looks and where it's headed. So if you have any other questions about my corner cabinet, please leave a comment and I will try to answer. I have paint on my hands today. I've actually been working on a project in our kitchen that I am so excited to share with you guys. I hope to be able to do a reveal this by the end of the week, hopefully. Alright, well, thank you so much for watching. If you're new to my channel, please be sure and hit that subscribe button. Thanks, guys.